Hi, my name is Anne Cahill and I'm a design team member for Lulu Art 2017. Today I'm going to share with you how I make these cute little jointed golden teddy bears. I really enjoy making teddy bears, so I know I'm going to make more than one. So I just grab a piece of plain old white paper and I start sketching out my design. A front-facing teddy bear is quite easy to achieve. You just have to break down each body part into a multitude of shapes. If we look at the head, it's one large circle with two equal-sized circles for the ears and one chubby oval for the muzzle. Once you're happy with the size and placement, you can go back in and alter the details. You can divide his muzzle, add his bottom lip, reshape his ears and flatten off the top of his head. We'll add the eyes in a little later. I construct the body using a triangle for the top and a rectangle for his tummy. I then go in and reshape. I cut in at the sides to create a waist and I curve off his bottom and his shoulders. I draw a circle for his shoulder and a larger circle for his paw. I draw halfway where I feel his elbow needs to be and then I just connect it all together with lines. I go back in and fine tune it. Draw a circle for his thigh, an oval for his foot, cut it in half to find where the knee would be and again connect it with some lines before firming up your final piece. As this is our pattern only, there's no need to draw a second arm or leg. Now it's time to get messy. So I grab a sheet of my Strathmore mixed media. It's a really good weight being at 140 pounds. Not too heavy and not too light. Dylusions Pure Sunshine is the perfect base colour for my golden teddy. I use my 1-inch base coating paintbrush to apply the colour to the front and the back of the page in choppy strokes. I'm wanting to create fur, so I definitely don't want a block of solid colour. I dry it off with my heat gun and then I cut out my pattern, ready for tracing. I very lightly trace around my template, remembering that I do need 2 legs and 2 arms. I'm also going to cut an extra head and an extra body because this will conceal the back of the bear where the brads are exposed. I need these 2 elements to be identical for when they're pieced together at the end. I move both the cardboard and the scissors as I'm cutting it out because I want it to be a furry appearance and not an even one. I only need the back of his head, so I cut off his ears and the bottom of his muzzle. I need the bodies to be the same, so I cut them again together. When it comes to the arms and the legs though, I can cut them separately. It's a lot easier going with the scissors. Draw in his ears and his facial features lightly with the 2B pencil. Identify the inside of the identical piece with the letter B. This way, when we glue them together at the end, they'll fit nicely. Next is his tail, and don't forget to identify that inside piece again. I've chosen the Dylusions melted chocolate to add some shape to my teddy bear pieces. I load my angle brush with a thin transparent layer of paint. Firstly, I chip around his little tail and then around the body pieces. The legs and the arms only require this shade color to be on the inside. Remembering we don't have duplicates of these pieces, so to shade the front and the back of each piece. Shade around the back of the head to make it look more like a sphere. Fill in the inside of his little ears and float around the outside of the muzzle and around his eyes. Put a very light float on the inside of his muzzle to help create the shape. Continue with a soft float on the inside of his head and at the bottom of his ears. Apply thin coats of the white gesso to build his muzzle. Add choppy strokes of the white gesso to the lightest part of his fur. Continue these choppy strokes on each body part. I use the Dylusions black marble paint pen to fill in his eyes. I add another coat of the white gesso to help build the cheeks before picking up my liner brush loaded in the melted chocolate and painting in a stitched little nose. Add some soft white highlights using the gesso before using the fine pen to add eyelashes and a shade to the bottom of his nose. Just adding another layer of colour with my Prismacolor Orange pencil. I'm just using it in light circular motions to build the colour. It's now time to piece him all together. I position his body and place his legs down, making sure the shaded areas are to the inside before stabbing it with an awl and popping in the brads. I roughly position his head so I can get the arm placement, remembering again the shaded areas towards the body. I use a glue dot to position his head before turning him over and adding the back pieces. I add the body and lastly the head. I forgot to add colour to the back of his ears, so I'll just pick up the Prisma pencils and add that in. These little bears are adorable at any stage, so I could easily stop here and call it complete. But I'm feeling quite creative this afternoon, so I'm going to continue adding layers with the Prismacolor pencils. It's been a pleasure sharing my processes with you today. Be sure to pop over to luluart.com.au for all your art supplies.